Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Alright then, this is Rock and Spirits Radio 104.6 with your hosts, Omar and Abdou. Alright then, how are you doing today?
Dude, are you trying to do the radio thing? Are you seriously trying to do the fucking radio thing?
Well,
Omar And Abdou. This is our fucking style, dude.
well, you always say that, so I thought maybe we should do something.
No, dude.
Or maybe you're just obsessed with Scarface, man.
Wow, Al Pacino.
I bet you've seen every Al Pacino movie, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen a few. Like I haven't seen his early work.
beginnings
Yeah.
on screen. You mean?
But I haven't seen some like legendary movies he's done.
Like what?
Well, there was one with one word in the title that I can't remember.
Is it Heat? It's not Heat.
No, dude, he can't not watch that film.
It's on my list.
Dude,
I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, it's on my list.
Dude, we're so gonna do an episode on Heat
Yeah, okay.
as soon as you watch it,
Yeah, all right.
because I will take you
No,
down
no,
if you
no.
don't like it.
I don't think I'm gonna hate it because two of my favorite actors, Al Pacino and De Niro. So
Dude, Michael Mann directed it. But anyway, we're babbling on, and I guess we should get into it.
yeah,
So this episode, we thought we're gonna talk about a movie we have both seen lately, and
let's get to it.
it's gonna be a first.
What do you mean it's a first?
It's a movie that one of us liked and the other not
Yeah.
so much.
No, yeah, it is. It
Because
is.
so far, Mr. Robot, Ant-Man, me and Earl,
Yeah, we've all had like similar views to it.
yeah, we both enjoyed them.
Now it's a movie where we both disagree.
And it's called It Follows. Came out in 2014.
It's quite a horror teen movie. I don't know if you could call it, but
Well, I'll call it coming of age story, but
it's
anyway.
not a coming of age.
Well, we're gonna get into the arguments.
So boyhood is coming of age.
Well, obviously he hated it and I loved it, so
It's not because I'm not saying it's not a coming of age because I hated it. It's because it's not a coming of age story.
I think it comes into it. I think if you see it as a kid movie,
Dude, it's just a girl
you miss the point.
who catches a curse via sexual
Well,
contact.
You know what? Let's start with the premise. Do you want to do the premise?
No, just do it. Because I'm gonna start hating on it.
Okay, it's the premise is so simple. It's like,
Right.
as you said, the girl hooks up with a dude,
Yeah.
and she catches
Curse.
a curse of people following her whenever she goes.
But do they want to kill her?
Yeah,
Those people following her.
That's the question.
Yeah.
And so that's the premise.
No.
That's pretty much it.
Why you didn't? How the curse is channeled?
Well, yeah, through hooking
Sexual.
up, through sexual interaction.
Through sexual contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we start on the positive stuff and then we go to the negative stuff?
I'd say we start on negative.
My negatives are so long, man. It's
Well,
the-
my positives are long too.
okay.
Okay,
Fair enough.
it's gonna be interesting.
All right, so
Okay.
all right. Obviously, you suggested this movie. I have seen it, just through sites, and I just didn't want to see it because I kind of lost hope on horror movies
Mm.
because if you go, the last horror movie that I watched and I really loved is The Blair Witch Project. That was such a good horror movie, like
But you're not talking like chronologically speaking. Like there have been other great horror movies after the Blair Witch Project.
I don't think so.
Oh, you think that like from
Paranormal Activity or something? No.
But you think like from 1999 there haven't been any good horror flicks? Is
Well,
that what
give
you're
me an
saying?
example then, because I can't see
Dude,
any.
Saw.
No,
Fucking
that's not
Paranormal.
horror.
Well, that's
I'm not-
gruesome, but still
I'm
horror.
not talking about horror. I'm talking about horror, something that is like The Grudge, something that is.
Well, it came out after the fucking.
Really?
Yeah. And The Ring came out after that.
What?
The Ring.
The Rain, yeah, that's
It's
good.
great horror.
The Rain, that's good. But anyway, this film, I don't know. It's from the first 5 minutes of this movie that I found the flaw. Like,
Which is.
this is a young girl.
Hmm.
I think she's like 17, let's say, or 16, maybe 14.
No, not 14.
Okay. Maybe she's. Yeah, they're not gonna do a minor movie.
No, dude. The last time somebody tried that, they went to prison.
Yeah, yeah. So was she like? Is she 17? They don't say. But they're young. They're young kids. They're kids.
They're youngsters, yes.
And she has sex with this guy who's older than her, right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck? Sorry for swearing.
Go ahead.
Would she have unprotected sex? What? There is no one in the right mind would she accept to have unprotected sex with this boyfriend. Like, I don't think. I mean, the first thing a girl says to a guy, "Do you have a condom?" Like that's it. Like, there's no. All right, this is my first. Second, there's a scene when they're both of them are watching a movie, and they're playing a game, and it comes his part, his turn. Where he turns around, and he says, "Oh, that's the woman in the yellow dress. Do you see her?" And she says, "No, I don't see her. What are you talking?" And he realizes that he's imagining that girl, and the woman in the yellow dress. And so he freaks out and he takes her hand and gets out of the movie theater. So the woman was standing at the door. How did he get past her? And those people who follow you after you contact the curse follow you, and they want to kill you.
And
So
they stick with you.
why the fuck was he just standing there? Why? So this is the second one. The third, I don't know. It's, I'm not gonna lie. There was one scene. There was one scene that got me. It's not scene. It's just, yeah, you can call it scene. It was when they were in their room, and they started knocking. There was it was her sister, and not the other dude.
Yeah, I know the scene.
There was
Where they
some,
go into his house and near
no,
the beach.
when they were still in her house. So they was knocking on the door, and they opened it. It was their other sister.
Yeah.
So it's like, she was like, "Hey, what's going on?" So, and you can get that scene where the drama is up, and you're like, okay, thank God, it's just their sister." And then this motherfucking tall guy comes rushing behind her. That's a brilliant scene,
Yeah.
because it just shows that they just show, it's not like any of the other horror movies where there's screaming or just blood on his face or something. It's just a tall guy coming behind this girl.
Creepiness.
It's just so fucking creepy. That's it.
Yeah.
That got me. That's good.
You love that scene.
I love that
But
one.
like your point out to
Plot holes.
plot holes and specific scenes, like what did you think about the film overall?
Overall, well, I think it was a feat in terms of horror. They tried something new, and it worked. I'm not when I say that it sucked. It sucks for me. I didn't like it. I'm not saying it should be dropped from the U.S. box office or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I just didn't like it because I don't know, man. It's just didn't feel quite. They did quite a lot of research. They did quite a lot of new ideas. Just how are we gonna do a horror movie about those people who are following you, not fall into like the premise of The Mist, for example. The movie The Mist.
No.
Come on, it's adapted
Well,
from.
when I start talking, you're gonna understand a lot of things. Just go keep
Just
talking.
keep talk them.
So you're done.
I'm done.
Okay, so it follows.
Right.
I'm gonna talk about myself for a second because I'm a self-centered person. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I am not a huge horror guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the genre. I completely understand why other people would be, and a lot of people love this genre. I don't.
I love it.
You do,
I
obviously.
used to love it, if you could say.
Yeah. But I'm still entitled to have an opinion about it. And what I would say about this genre is, just like any other genre,
Hmm.
when you go into a horror film, what you're expecting, what the movie is trying to sell you is, okay, you're gonna spend X amount of time with this film,
Mm.
and we're gonna guarantee you're gonna shit your pants out of horror.
Well, not
Like,
necessarily. Yeah.
like that's what they're trying to sell you.
You know, my type of horror is the one that makes you sweaty.
Yeah.
It's like when you're like shit, you know, like that when you're stuck to your seat.
Well, some people take a shit, some people sweat. You know, That's different tastes for different people.
Yeah.
So, um, I had this movie on my radar, just like you did, for a long time, because it did well in the box office and because the reviews were mostly positive. Um, but I wasn't like super excited to watch it because, like I said, I'm not a fan of the genre.
Mm.
But lately, a close friend of mine recommended it and he was like, dude,
You have to see it.
you have to see this. And I love that guy's recommendations
Mm.
because he doesn't like, yeah, he's very picky about films. So I was like, okay, I trust this guy's judgment. I think I'm gonna see it. And I went into it with the mindset of, shit, I don't like this genre because it creeps you out. It makes you scared, and I don't like that
There's
feeling.
no focus on like some human relations and story, some
Well, that's
developments and
well,
for horror. There's just like jump scares and music. Oh, there's another thing, the music, so cliche. So, but anyway,
there's an argument to be made that the story itself is what creeps you out, like The Exorcist. Like that's a creepy fucking story.
uh
But you know, just I'm ranting and ranting, but I'm going on. But I will get to my point. So okay, he told me you gotta watch this film, and it's a horror film. He didn't say horror. He just said you gotta watch It Follows. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh, it's a horror film.
well, you are gonna go. You're gonna deduce that it's horror.
Yeah, because I knew about it and I saw like fucking people talking about critics actually.
Yeah, but you look at that after you see the movie. I know people who just when they hear a movie, they don't see the trailer, they don't see how much it got on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. They just go and see the movie. They don't want prejudgments.
Well, I'm kind of like that, but I'm also like, well, I'm not a critic, you know. I'm not gonna watch fucking Star Wars on December 14th. I've accepted that, you know.
But it's 18th, man.
Yeah, but critics will see it on December 14th.
Why?
Because they're fucking critics.
Critics will see before.
Yeah,
Like any critic?
yeah, I'm not sure,
I
but
think it's the famous ones, the ones
yeah,
matter.
the ones that matter, because you know they had to write their reviews or whatever before it comes out.
Do they really are they really gonna let them watch the movie before so
Yeah.
that they can write good reviews?
But they won't like write shit before it comes out. They will start they call
start
it
writing their reviews.
yeah they release their reviews like on the day it comes out or something. But anyway, what was I talking about? So horror, It Follows. I went into it thinking, okay, it was a recommendation, so I'm gonna bite the bullet and watch this and be scared shitless. And if it succeeds in scaring me shitless, then it's gonna be a great horror film because that's my only like equation when it comes to horror.
Yeah.
Scared you shitless, good film.
Well, there are types of horror.
That's where I'm
There are
going.
types of like there's Saw, the amiable, the amiable horror, and there's like Pan's Labyrinth. It is horror.
Yeah.
So the Blair Projects, it is horror.
Yeah,
The
I know,
Exorcist
that's-
is horror.
Well, if the Blair Project isn't horror, then I don't know what movie wouldn't be horror.
I mean, that one is a mind blow, man. It's amazing. But
So,
anyway.
so I went into it thinking I'm gonna get scared shitless, and I was hoping to get scared shitless because then it would be a good movie. But I started watching the flick, and I wasn't being scared. And in a horror film, I mean, you'd know better than I do. Like within the first 20 minutes, something creepy has to start happening.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like it just wasn't happening for you.
Yeah. Creepy things were happening,
Yeah.
but they weren't really creeping me out.
You know, for me, other than this scene that I mentioned, all of the stuff that happened, I was just looking like this. Sorry, you can't see what I'm looking like, but just you're just looking.
Bemused.
You're rolling your eyes around, like, okay, really, like seriously.
Yeah. Or indifferent, right?
Yeah, but that scene that I mentioned really it got me. That was good. But anyway, come on.
Yeah, so I was thinking, well, according to my equation, this movie sucks because it's not scaring me one iota.
Were you judging it while you were watching it?
Yeah, dude, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was still intrigued. I was still watching the flick and thinking, I'm loving this. Why? I don't know.
New,
Uh,
new idea, new, just something new. Like,
yeah, something new.
something that broke the formula of horror.
And you know what got me in that movie? I was like, no, this is not horror. This is psychological horror.
Is it?
Yeah, for me it was.
Psychological is unthinkable. That's psychological horror.
Well, for
So-
me, psychological horror is like American Psycho. It's not necessarily
Well-
gonna. It's not necessarily gonna scare you and leave you
Okay.
unable to sleep, but it's still gonna disturb the shit out of you. And this movie kind of was disturbing because
tell you-
there's always something coming her way.
Mm.
And I'm gonna respond to your two criticisms, but first, like, I was sold on the movie, and you call it a kid movie. I call it a coming of
A
age.
teen. It's like kind of like a horror teen movie.
I would say a coming of age story, and I will tell you the coming of age parts of it.
Okay.
It's the first it's the first thing, it's the first scene of the girl, and when she's wandering
In the pool.
in the pool and she's looking at the sky and the two kids that always, you know,
creeping on,
Yeah.
creeping on her.
when she's looking at the sky, and from her dialogue to the guy who will eventually have sex with her and
Yeah.
transmit that shit to her. That's the coming of age part, because that tells you something about a character. That tells you about their mindset, about the way they're seeing the world at that particular moment.
But coming of age is like a whole story. It's not just one part of the story that
Yeah,
covers
but-
the coming of age part.
Well, eventually she does come of age because this huge thing happens to her.
She doesn't
and-
grow up mentally. She uses a gun, but that's not coming of age.
Wow. I don't know. Well, whatever. Maybe you're right, but
The coming-
I thought that was if it's not a coming of age thing, at least it presented the character well. And
Maybe you're referring to
in few minutes.
maybe you're referring to character change. I noticed the character change with her friend, the male friend,
Yeah.
who just wants to get in her pants, basically.
Yeah.
He just
He's the creepy dude who kissed his sister.
You know, I loved him in a movie called It's a Funny Story with Galifianakis.
Fuck, I saw that movie.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's good.
But critics said that the book was much better. But anyway,
Well,
I didn't read it.
they say The Martian, the book was better. They say
What?
well, there are some people say that. But
But
anyway,
anyway, for your criticisms, you said the first one was she's too dumb to realize she has to do this protected. But the argument can be made that yeah, she is kind of dumb. That's a point. She is not necessarily dumb, being so kind of blunt with it, but she is still growing in her mind, and she is adventurous, and she wants to try new things.
one of the new things is having unprotected sex.
Yeah, because she likes the guy, and he seems,
No one does that, man. In reality, no one has unprotected sex unless she wants to have a kid. Look at it.
Wow.
I mean, come on. We're
Well,
talking
I
about
think she says she's on the pill or something.
what?
Yeah, I think
Well, if
that's
that
what
was
she
the
said.
case, then I don't know.
And as to the woman following them, I think throughout the movie there are inconsistencies when it comes to that, because it's not an exact science of when a person starts following you and stops following you.
Or the when when is it gonna attack you, or just following?
Yeah, exactly. So you can say it is an inconsistency, but I think they have established by the end of it of the film that it's not an exact science.
Or you could just look at it like nothing's perfect. Even the movie can be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think many movies dealt with this idea of something that follows you. But you just gotta give them credit.
Yeah,
That
but
they,
like my question to you, since you are the more seasoned, let's say, in horror, like
yeah.
if this movie isn't psychological horror, what would you call it?
What would I call it?
Yeah,
I think it's just a teen horror. It's just for teens, you know. Like
but it's made quite creatively.
it is. It is. I'm not
Yeah,
saying, but like for a real horror that really messes up with your mind, that you can't even that you can't even sleep at night, from like the Blair Witch Project.
yeah,
It's totally different, because horror is like an art. Like if you compare The Exorcist to the Blair Witch Project,
yeah.
in the Blair Witch Project, you don't see the entity that is causing harm, but in The Exorcist, you see the demon. You
But
know,
they're still as both as horrifying.
they are. I'm just saying
Yeah,
that. I'm just saying there are types of horror.
yeah. Well,
But
that was yeah,
yeah, and it falls into the second category where you see the evil entity
yeah,
that it follows you, even though the evil entity is the curse. So maybe they're gonna go and go to a prequel
yeah,
of this demon and his curse and how that he passes it on, because they don't explain that. They don't
yeah,
say. They just say a curse that you contacted by sexual interaction.
yeah.
So maybe there's a sequel on the
And
way,
speaking of
a prequel,
inconsistencies, I hope they don't do a sequel.
prequel.
Yeah, if they
Count
do a prequel,
count on a
maybe.
prequel.
But if they do
Prequel.
the sequel, dude, please don't do a sequel.
No, because the
I think
last
it made a shitload of money.
you
I think
can't
it
you,
did.
you can't have a sequel, because did you see the last scene?
I just feel that this one doesn't need a sequel.
Hmm.
Like I just do. Like if they just leave it there, it's gonna be like this cool movie that people in 2030 watch and say, "Oh, do you remember that cool movie that just ended with that?" And there was no sequel.
Hmm.
And it's still gonna be creeping people out like 16, 17 years from now, or even more.
Yeah, we're gonna look at it like Evil Dead, for example. Even though
Yeah.
Evil Dead is such a gory
Dude, do you
film.
know who did Evil Dead?
I don't pay to that detail. I don't know why.
Sam Raimi.
What did he do?
The Spider-Man movies. The good ones, by the way.
Yeah,
Not the shitty Garfield ones.
not the One Direction ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He did the fucking like the Cure ones, the emo kind of. I'm so lonely person. I never get laid once.
Yeah, seriously, we know what the hairs.
But I'm so cool, and yet I'm kind of nerdy, and I don't get laid. What the fuck, dude? Like pick a side.
And they changed Mary Jane. Dude, there has to be a Mary Jane in Spider-Man.
I was saying that, speaking of inconsistencies,
Mm.
he talks about the one with people following, but when she has sex with this other guy and that shit doesn't start
She
following.
has sex 3 times in the movie. I was like, dude, calm down.
Calm the fuck
Just,
down.
yeah, 3 times.
What the fuck? Yeah, so she has sex and that stuff doesn't start following the one that she has sex with the same way it followed her.
Yeah.
So, speaking of inconsistencies, I think they established the fact that I think it's part of it that this is not an exact science of. It's not like The Ring or. Which one is it that after 7 days it comes out of the screen and it fucks up your life?
That's what? After 7 days?
Yeah, The
Oh,
Ring.
you mean the tape when you put on
Yeah,
the tape? The Ring.
Yeah, The
The
Ring.
Ring. They did 3 of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did 3.
I think three. I think three.
I think the first
The
one was the
yeah,
best.
for The Grudge, they did 2. Yeah. One of my favorites is the Amityville Horror with the one who did Buried. What is it called?
The actor
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
He did the Amityville Horror. You haven't seen it?
no.
Go see it. You're gonna like it.
Okay.
This is the true horror. Like, I mean, I saw it when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
and it really fucked me up. Seriously.
I think most people who love horror have watched horror when they were kids.
You see,
Yeah,
when you grow up, horror just doesn't work.
yeah. I think I saw.
But I saw the Blair Witch Project like last year, and it was good. It got to me
Yeah,
because it's such a true horror.
yeah.
It's such a true horror. Okay,
Okay,
but
so final
yeah.
thoughts on the film.
On It Follows, right? Again, it's a good movie.
So
Uh,
in the end, you didn't hate it.
I hey, I didn't personally, I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
And when you look at it objectively, it's a good movie.
yeah.
So I don't want to say it's a horrible movie and people are gonna watch it and it's like, what the fuck is this guy's talking about? It's a good movie. That's why I'm saying I didn't like it.
But you didn't enjoy it per se.
I did. I don't know. I didn't quite enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, other than that scene, the one I told you about with the tall guy coming through the door.
Right.
That's other than that, it wasn't such good movie. I contradict myself because I say it's a good movie
Yeah.
and then go back and say it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
So-
well, I think what you're trying to say is for you as a horror enthusiast, it didn't like.
yeah, it didn't go all the way.
And I heard a very respectable like critic say the
Critics.
same thing. He was like, but this guy is like his favorite movie of all time is The Exorcist. Like if that doesn't tell you he's a horror fanatic.
You mean the
nothing
director?
does. No, the critic I'm talking about.
Oh.
Mark Kermode, if you want to check him out.
Yeah.
Great critic. Just listen to his stuff on YouTube.
Well, but which one? The Exorcism of Emily Rose
No,
or
the first one, the 1970s.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose? This is
No,
the
no,
first
no.
one.
But the Exorcist period of the 70s.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm not even. I'm not. You know, I'm not even creeped out by the Exorcist. It's just stupid.
Well, that's
You know,
another
with
topic for another day.
the girl crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a new idea.
It was quite creepy at the time.
It is.
But
You know, the 70s. Even you see what's that? Evil Dead.
yeah.
They did a remake in 2014.
Well, I
2013.
Yeah.
You saw that?
I think they're doing a TV show based on Evil Dead right now.
The Evil Dead.
Versus Ash, I think it's called Evil Dead versus Ash.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they did a remake. The remake
Uh-huh.
didn't live up. It was gory and just
Yeah.
like bloody. They wanted to live
Yeah,
up.
I gotta watch that. But like I said, I mean, you're the horror enthusiast between the two, so maybe your opinion counts more. But for me, this movie, I liked it. I really did.
Yeah.
I think once you establish that it's not a horror per se, and if you're looking to be, being scared shitless,
Mm.
it's not gonna do that. But if you find it intriguing, you're gonna love this film.
Well,
And
I
I
look-
found it intriguing.
What I look most in horror movies is just to give you a rush of adrenaline.
Yeah, well, I think
Just
that's the pretty much the same as being scared. Like I think that's
It's not. I got the same feeling while watching 127 hours. That was such an intense movie.
yeah, but that's having an adrenaline rush, as you said.
Yeah.
But for true horror films, it's like they scare you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, scared.
Hmm. You're talking about that cliche scene where, like, in the movie theater when girls are jumping.
Yeah. And that's another thing about this film. It shied away or it's shown away from cliches.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
it did.
No, yeah.
And another thing, fuck, I was thinking I'm gonna bring this out. The cinematography.
Cinematography.
It's brilliant in this film.
Mm.
The way the camera moves like this, it just slowly moves, and it's just on a tripod, but it's moving. It's turning like 180
Degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to bring back scenes, and I do. They wanted to. They chose a. They chose a
Interesting frames.
What?
They chose interesting frames.
Yeah, and they chose low color density.
Yeah.
Just to, like any other.
And it wasn't like all at night, which I loved. And it wasn't that thing of they're gonna just focus.
Even when it's apparent in all horror movies. Even when it's daylight, it's quite grim.
Yeah.
I mean the sun. Where's the sun? It's always grim in horror movies.
And they didn't do that cliche thing of where they focus on the girl's face, and they just focus on the girl's face, and there is silence, and then you see something creepy behind her.
Yeah, like The Grudge. They did that in
Yeah,
The Grudge a lot.
yeah, but that was like 2000 fucking what, two,
I think
three.
4 or 2.
If you keep doing the same thing, then it becomes like
Or like the
seen
one,
that.
when it's a side shot with the fridge, taking the whole the left side, for example,
Yeah.
and the guy comes and opens the door of the fridge, which it covers what's in the
Yeah,
hallway.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And as he
I've
closes,
seen that 1,000 times.
yeah, when he closes the door of the fridge, there's someone standing there, or just like
Oh, God,
something creeping
I
up.
hate that. I
You know.
fucking hate that.
When you quite look at other movies, you just
Yeah.
like, all right,
Dude,
you're
I've
telling
seen
me, you're telling me someone is not gonna come out
What
of
the
that.
fuck do you think I am, dude?
It's like we've seen it 100 times, man.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so I think you should probably watch this film and make up your own mind.
how?
And if you like it or you don't, leave
Mm.
something in the comment section.
Yeah, they're not.
And
They're
I'm
not.
saying comment section because it's gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah, no one's gonna comment, man.
We're going to
Uh,
transfer this shit to YouTube. This is our big announcement.
Yeah, because we got broke on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's the only honest reason. Is
But,
that we don't have money.
Yeah, but
Um,
how much are you gonna give it on a scale of 10?
I think this is another 7.5 for me.
We shouldn't do 7.5.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna give it a 6.
yeah,
Well, which is a good, uh,
7.5 to 8. Like I'm juggling between the
Alright.
two. But like when you say
Anyway.
give it a rating, I'm thinking a 10 out of 10 would be, Inception, The Godfather,
Shawshank Redemption.
yeah, that kind of like, oh, I'm a big, great film kind of,
It's like groundbreaking.
yeah,
It's
groundbreaking,
just
like genius.
It's like wow.
Like you're thinking, can't you stop with your genius shit? Okay, I know you're genius. Just stop. Genius frame, genius acting, genius thing, genius this, genius that. So
Well, no,
that's
I-
a 10 out of 10.
I look at it personally and see that Lord of the Rings has them all.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I know
That's a topic for another day.
yeah, I know I'm a Lord of the Rings fanatic, but anyway, that's all, folks, for today's episode.
Yeah, and
We hope you enjoyed it, and we'd like to see you on another episode on the Moroccan
he's
Spirits
trying
Radio.
to do the radio thing again.
Yeah,
Just
sounds like a radio. I think if you like my radio voice, I can. Anyway,
goodbye.
all right, see you later.
I'll be back.